Hi, I'm Robert LAROCCA, and I'm currently unemployed, but I was a teacher at Nativity Prep, a Jesuit middle school for low-income families, and I was a director of Grassroots Campaigns Incorporated, an organization that was working to do all the grassroots fundraising for the Democratic Party in this recent election for president. Basically because I felt that the past 3.5 years, it was about 3.25 years when I started doing it, it's not that I have a problem with a Republican administration, or not even necessarily certain conservative aspects of the administration, but that this administration was lying. And I think that, you know, we delve into partisan rhetoric sometimes and we accuse the other sides of lying, but I think that this administration is furtive. They will say and do anything to win. And I think that when you do that, you destroy the fundamental, wonderful aspects of a democracy. I worked for Congressman Ed Markey. When I was in college, I interned for him down in Washington, D.C. He's a great man, a great politician. And I just feel that the 2004 election, everything was riding on the line for so many different parts of the country and so many different parts of the world. And frankly, I just don't think George Bush is a good president. So I went to the Democratic National Committee website and I talked to a few people, and I got in touch with these people at this startup fledgling organization called Grassroots Campaigns. Here's a good one. A girl that I worked with, she was actually going around in a town, and I won't say the name of the town because I think that it's fair not to mention the town, but she was going around in a town, and this is her third night on the job, and she knocked on a door, and she was talking to the woman, and she was going through the rap of the things they were saying. Hi, my name's so-and-so, and we're working to defeat George Bush. And the woman immediately just thought that this was a great young woman. I was committed and could see the passion that this person had in wanting to enact political change in America, and wrote her a check for $10,000. First of all, I mean, I love the neighborhood in general. I love the streets. I love Center Street. I've taught here for a year at Nativity Prep, so I taught some kids that are from here, so I got a chance to see where they live. But I think there's a lot of great restaurants and some great bars, and the people I've met have been great too. So it's a really welcoming environment, and it's kind of on the outside of Boston enough where you don't really feel like you're in this urban, metropolis. I had got up in the morning and I went down in my car to move it because you're in Washington, D.C. and you constantly have to move your car, you get towed or a boot on your car. And I turned on the radio and there were these DJs that were mocking the situation, it seemed. It didn't seem like anybody really believed it on the radio because it had just happened. And they didn't know if, I don't know who the reporter was for ABC, was serious. And then I drove around the Key Bridge and I saw that the Pentagon was smoking. And I'll never forget, I mean, nobody forgets that day, but my friends and I throughout the day would watch, and there were no cars in the streets, and people were just walking through the streets, walking home, like it was some sort of horror film, People weren't driving. And there were military tanks on the most busy commercial street in Georgetown, which is M Street. Fear is something that can be reused and reused, It's like it's like a rechargeable battery. For evil. And really, this administration really, I mean, giving them credit as much as I don't want to, is this something they really were able to tap into. I would say I am patriotic, but I'm not a jingoist. I am somebody that loves America. I took one of my favorite courses in college was a constitutional reform class. I think the Constitution of the United States of America is one of the most beautiful documents ever written. I think that I like a lot of aspects of Americana. I like the economic and the regional diversity of our country. But and I don't have a problem with us being a superpower, provided that we act appropriately and that our aim is always with justice. So I am, but I'm not somebody that thinks that we are infallible. And I think that's a problem with patriotism, is it sometimes leads to people thinking that their country can do no wrong. I grew up in an Irish-Italian Catholic household. I had 8 years of Jesuit schooling in both high school and college, and I think that what I appreciated most about it were the importance of being compassionate. Somewhere along the line, it was made to be that one cannot be simultaneously religious and left-leaning. The Democratic Party is interested in working with the poor and the socioeconomically oppressed, and what's more Christian than that? You know, I mean, Jesus was somebody who went around and tried to help people that didn't have anything. And to think now that we have a party, a Republican Party, that likes to benefit the upper 2% of America. My brother, just someone who less than 2 years younger than I am, I've always looked at as in some ways like a son, but I really have a deep connection with him, and I think that he's creative and in many ways a lot more intelligent than I am, and a very caring person. And we've always been there for each other. Yeah. I would have to, I mean, I still believe that probably the best word is hope. I think that it is a place that is hopeful. And I think that there can't be a better time for us to use that, because I think there's a lot of things that are wrong with it today, and that we need to have hope if we're ever going to overcome these obstacles, political and social.